Hello and welcome to Dargan Gaming Squad. I'm here bringing you a skim, something to keep in mind. It's going to be a quick kind of, idea. This one's directed towards DMs this time and PCs for the both. Just a quick idea to kind of keep and hopefully something you'll think about and maybe even try incorporating into your own worlds and games. I'm Nate.
And I'm Chris.
And let's just get started in this really quickly. So, do you ever find yourself running out of time to create cities? Do you ever find yourself being lazy? Do you ever find yourself just drawing a blank? Well, I have an idea for you. Something I heard about a long time ago was a DM talking about he gives his players creative liberty in an area as long as the players are being appropriate. A quick example would be they're inside a city and there's a war going on. The fighter says, "Oh, I want to run to the wagon." Now, while the DM didn't explicitly say there's a wagon, one would think there would be a wagon in a city, correct? So why not put one in there? That is collaborative storytelling, and this is something I want to touch on. It's something a little bit different, though. This is in the aspects, as I brought up before, with cities. And if you don't have enough time, there's a way that you can kind of let your players experience this. While in my game, one of my players was finding her way around the city, and she decided to make up parts of the city as she went through. She's like, "Oh, I think that what the actual event was is that they're trying to find a store." And she explained as she walked through the city streets. While I never explained to her where the store would have been at, she took it in liberty to go to it herself. She even then decided to create a name for it, and everybody, it was beautiful. I didn't have to do too much. They went to the store. All I had to do was just play the NPC, the storekeeper, and they shopped and got what they needed. And this is something that's kind of fun. You don't have to be the sole person controlling everything in the city. You can also let your players explore it themselves in their own imagination and have fun with each other. So, do you have any questions, Chris?
How do you get the point across to your players that they're allowed to do this? Like, how would you pitch it to them and give them the scope of what's okay or not okay, or is everything goes?
No, okay. Well, that's a great question. The first one that I want to bring up is just getting the idea across. At session 0, this is when you talk to your players and everyone discusses what they want from the story. Hopefully this is time where you can figure out if you're trying to run a funny campaign, a wacky campaign, a more serious or gritty campaign. Luckily, ours is something a little bit in between. We're quite serious most of the time, but we do have some fun parts. Nothing outside of really the realm. We like keeping things in the actual game and keeping things immersive. So I know that about my players, and I definitely think if you haven't done that, you should really get to know your players that way. Then after that is I'll talk to my players. I'll send them a message and say, "Hey guys, I had this really cool idea. Sometimes I'm not so good at creating stuff, especially when it comes to cities, because I just don't have enough time. Please, when we get into a city and you see that I'm struggling or that I just haven't created something too big, feel free to kind of explore and make stuff up yourself as long as it fits within the city realms and just have fun." And from there, I trust my players. I really do trust my players that they'll create something really cool. Now, how do you let your players know when not to and when to? This is where it comes into either you can explicitly say that the DM will handle from this part. What I would do is this is a great part for the option of a map and how you voice yourself. So let's say they walk into a city and I'm like, "This is Barthram," and I show them a map with everything already in it. And Barthram's a school, a drooling city. You don't know much about it. It is mysterious to you, and the people look at you like you're strange. Of course, they're not going to create anything here. They know nothing about it. And they're going to explore my imagination. This is me time. But if they go to a map and I'm like, this is Far Rock. It's a semicircular city with a bit of rocks. I'm sure from there they can see that I have not prepped the city. They went off the beaten path, and they did something I did not expect. From this point, I would say
we never do that, do we? Come on.
No, never.
Players don't do that.
Players never screw up with stories. Ever.
Well, we never screw it up.
No, never screwed up. Only make it better. Always stay on our intended path. Always. It's great. Players are great. They know what's best. So, yeah, this is kind of my idea. I just wanted you to think about it. This isn't just, it's something I've seen a lot of DMs. I mean, well, at least some games I've played in, not always, they seem to get, you know, you're DM, you're in control, you have the whole world, but then it gets stressful. It really does. And you can even mess things up. So let your players have some fun. Anything else to bring up?
Definitely. I was just thinking that this kind of seems to me probably how, you know, this is how cities grow anyway, right? Cities weren't just these enormous places right from the start.
True.
You know,
And they
they're
weren't
like
just
a
created
house
by
that's
one
been
man.
remodeled and remodeled and remodeled. So they started with a core, and as it became bigger, it grew. And so it makes sense that, you know, and you can confine your players to a certain district that maybe they're staying in, and let them flesh that district out. Maybe if they have a task to do that takes them to a different district, then you have another opportunity to have them add more. I love this idea. I love it.
Yeah, that's actually, that's brilliant. All I have to say, though, is make sure when you're doing this, give the players a seed of an idea. This is a fishing town. This is a farming town. This is a town full of angry dwarfs. This is a town full of angry gnomes. Give them a you know, a little idea. Besides that, only one last thing I can think for continuity wise, if they ever do, or if you do allow them to create something, have a quick small map of the city outline and then just draw the quick points that they bring up. The players will lead you right to a space where you know you're going to need to write something, and just ask them, where would you see this part of the city at in relation to the city? So say they walk into an area and they say, I want to go to the bakery.
Yeah.
Then just put a little B right there so they know. And you can always bring it out back later. And as Chris also said, cities change over time. So even if you mess something up, you say, oh, well, that bakery ended up going out of business and another one opened up across the city. Twice as big.
Yeah. That's awesome. I love it.
Alrighty, so everyone, thank you for watching. I hope you let this kind of grow and permeate in your mind, and you could even use it later on in your own games. This is our first skim, so look out for more to come. And anyways, thank you for watching. I hope you join our little Dargan family.
Don't forget to like and subscribe, and
Share.
we'll see you next time.
Yep, next time. Bye-bye.